to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. This is Season 4, Episode 41, number 176. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
And welcome to the show, everybody. How is it going, ladies?
Oh, just quarantining it up.
Quarantining it up in the month of Maypril?
In the month of Maypril.
Pretty much.
For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, become a patron and listen to this month's Patrons bonus show from recorded on Maypril 92nd, 2020.
Give or take.
Right.
Time is a flat circle at this point.
Time is a flat circle. Okay, so we alluded to this on the bonus show, and we kind of mentioned it briefly, but yes, it does seem like I was saying to Jay the other day, I was like, so I feel like, something comes up and somebody's like, oh, let's do this on May 22nd. I'm like, great, I've got 2 months to prepare for it. I feel like I'm perpetually in March, like there's March, and then like April was like nothing, and May is like non-existent. Like I said, Maypril, and I feel like I'm perpetually stuck in the month of March because that is when civilization ended.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's like in here, it's been sort of unseasonably cold, so it still feels a little like March.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't feel like edging into the middle part of May. So it just like, there's no cues that tell me that it is in fact May.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
But I saw that. Yeah, here it's been really nice. But to be fair, it can be really nice in February and March too. So also no change.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just really weird. Like I had a really busy day today at work, and we were planning something for May 22nd. And again, I had this thought. And, I was like, okay, well, I can have everybody get their stuff to me by May 18th, and we'll promote it on Friday, and I'm sure it'll be fine. And then, somebody in the Zoom call was like, so you're going to promote it on Friday, and then you're going to have people have to hand in 4 things to you by Wednesday, and then you're going to do it on Friday? And I was like, no, I'm going to do it on May 22nd. They were like, yeah, that's next Friday. And I was like, oh, I thought that was like 8 weeks from now. It's not March 17th still? What are you talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. No, I feel like time has shifted. Perspectives have shifted. Even just, I don't know, like everything has shifted. Like yesterday,
yeah,
I left the house at lunch. Like I got out of the house and I did go on like a little run. So that's great. But like the rest of the day, I was, just pretty much sitting all day, kind of like we do now. And like in the evening, I was going to like heat up some food for dinner. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll start heating this up. And while it's heating, I'll go take a walk around the block. Cause like I have, a couple minutes while it's heating up.
Mm-hmm.
And I left the house and I took a walk around the block, like a 2-block radius. And I fucking felt accomplished. And I was just like, wow.
What it's come to now.
My accomplishment meter has really changed. Really shifted. Yeah.
Yep.
It was weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't been outside. I didn't go outside today. I think I went outside.
See, that's why it felt like an accomplishment, because that shit happened.
No, I think I went outside yesterday.
Yeah.
I think. But I'm not certain.
I've made a conscious effort to try to go outside at least once a day. Not to walk around like a store and like lick the aisles, but just to like go for a walk around the block or go on the greenway or, take the kids out to the swing set, like just to not physically be in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I have noticed that because I have something in my office called Glasses O'Clock. And generally, it's the time of the day where I can't see anymore with my contacts, and I really need to put my glasses in because by the end of that day, I will have a raging headache because my eyesight is, so weird. And I have so it's when I call it Glasses O'Clock, and it's when I put the computer readers on. And this morning, Glasses O'Clock started at 8:15.
Oh, that's a day. That is a day.
I know. And because I had one meeting at 8 and then another one at 9:30. And when I got on the 9:30 one, I had the readers on, and the first person on the call with me was like, "Hey, nice readers." And I was like, "So what?" Because they're bright red, and Jay calls them my Sally Jesse Raphael readers.
Nice.
They're not. They just looked really cute. I also had the whole meeting with my shirt on backwards. 2 meetings.
That's all right. We all talk through screens now. No one can tell. I think if you have a real shirt on, like, that's an accomplishment.
So
Exactly.
So this shirt has like the maroon color here, and it kind of matches with my glasses, my reader glasses. Well, in the back, it's much higher up. See? So
it is.
I actually like noticed and thought to myself several times this morning, I really don't remember the red being this high up in this shirt, but I like it.
Nice. Well, now it's a reversible shirt now.
It is.
You can wear it however you like. If you like the back pattern better, then wear that shit in the front.
Anything goes in quarantine.
Who cares? It is Maypril 92nd. Who cares what you're wearing? So long as you're wearing something.
Maypril. Oh, man. It really is crazy. I actually like working from home. Like, I kind of wish that when we go back to normal, like, more companies would adopt a, like, partial work from home policy. Because, like, then the first thing I said at my 8 o'clock meeting this morning, I was like, you know what I really love? I love that I was able to wake up at the time that I normally would have had to leave to drive to this meeting. And I still got dressed, dried my hair, and put my makeup on, and I was still here 15 minutes early.
Good for you. Yeah. I don't really do any of those things anymore. My hair is just perpetually wet. I haven't turned my blow dryer on in 3 weeks, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I generally
it's good for your hair too.
My hair loves it. Like, I've had people in meetings be like, "Your hair looks great."
Yeah, your hair looks
I'm like,
great.
I know, because I'm not doing anything to it.
Yeah.
It's like just a little bit of product, and I just let it air dry. And I'm just like, sorry that my hair is wet all the time, and I'm sure that looks really unprofessional, but
really it doesn't. See, that's my thing. There are people that I work with. There's all sorts of like a sliding scale of how dressed up people still are in this time. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I think that we put way too much emphasis on appearance anyway. And this is a good time for us to be like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. Who cares if your hair is wet? Like, what does that do to anyone? It could look wet for many other reasons. Like, sometimes people purposefully style their hair to look wet.
That's true. Some people like that look.
Yeah.
Some
like, really? Who the fuck cares? Does it get in the way of you doing your job? No.
To be fair, it was a 43-person meeting, so I want.
Oh yeah, no. If it was a meeting that big, these were just like like my
no. When I have meetings,
coworkers.
Yeah, when it's just my coworkers, like my boss is in dripping wet hair.
I put mascara on for everybody, but that's about it. And that's more
I don't even do that. Sometimes
I think I look better. Like, I like the way I look with some mascara on.
Yeah,
so
well, exactly. You still feel good about yourself, like
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Like the big meetings is what I've been, making myself up for. The little ones, like the one, like if my 9:30 meeting had been first, I wouldn't have put anything on for it. It was just the 43-person meeang that I was like, perhaps I should look good because I am the host of this meeting, and
Yeah, if there are like quote unquote important people on the call, I will put on a sweater. And if there aren't, then I don't know, I'm probably still in a sweatshirt. Yeah, like everyone can deal. Because I really can't see that much anyway, depending on like where your camera is.
I'm just really jealous of the people that can do the virtual backgrounds, because I can't do it, as you all know.
I can't either. I've tried. There's too much white.
No, I just my processors to
your
whatever.
processor.
So that's
Yeah.
what really makes me so sad. But that's all right. Whatever. It's not the end of the world. I fixed up the guest room is now a guest room / office. The last piece of the puzzle is a bookshelf, and that is going to be done being made for me. So I shopped local. I went to somebody in Fuquay Arena, which is about 35 minutes from my house, and I don't know if he does it on the side or what, but yeah, he does it. They're very reasonably priced. He charges me through Venmo, and that's it.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm really excited about that because the way that we did the dimensions is I have craft storage space on the bottom.
Nice.
For all
that
my
makes the
scrapbooking.
difference.
Yeah. And then the top I'll put then the middle level I'll put books or whatever. But it's not going to be books because I have these bookshelves out here. But it'll be my notebooks and my whatever. And then the top I'll put little trinkets that the boys have made me and whatnot. So
Bric-a-brac.
yeah. So I'm really excited about that. But anyway, yeah, good times.
Nice.
To sum up what I had to say is I really hope that we can resume some form of partial work from home after this is all over, because I do genuinely I get a lot of work done, because I hold myself more accountable to getting things done. And then the downtime, I get laundry done, and then I go to sleep a little bit earlier because anything that I would be doing at nighttime, I'm doing, in between things during the day, and I really like that. So anyway, that's all I had. I think Amanda, who said that they had a crazy day today?
I don't have a crazy day today, thankfully, but last week was a little crazy for me. So speaking of bookcases,
oh boy,
we were going to get new bookcases because, working from home, being in your home all the time, I just want to redesign everything. I just want to scrap all my furniture and I want to start over. But that plan got scrapped because we dropped in an unexpected amount of money on poor Captain. Poor Captain had to go back to the vet and had a little surgery last week.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah. So that hematoma that we were all joking about.
Yeah.
Nope, wasn't going away on its own. So I called the vet again and a couple of times and left a message just because, I was concerned. It really wasn't going down. And I'm like, how long are we supposed to make this poor cat keep this stupid cone on his head? So the vet that finally got back to me is like, yeah, bring him back. Let us look at him. So I do the whole thing again. Daniel was working some crazy pieces last week, so he wasn't able to come with me. So I had to go by myself. So back and forth to the vet. The vet's like, yeah, the one I saw, he was like, yeah, I don't know. Most vets are really conservative about this and they like to let it go away on its own. He's like, I don't know why they do that. I think we should operate, because he's like, it's starting to affect his ear. And if you let it go on too long, the deformation of his ear is going to start to be uncomfortable for him for forever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that either. My whole thing from the start was I want to do whatever is most comfortable for this cat. So
yeah.
Whatever. So he's like, yep, let's do surgery. He's like, we normally don't, this was on a Thursday. And he's like, we normally don't do surgeries on a Friday, but he's like, I think this should happen sooner rather than later. I'm going to squeeze you in tomorrow. So I bring Captain back bright and early on Friday morning. I get in a car and I bring him there at 8:30 in the morning, drop him off, come back here to do work during the day. And they call me around 4:30 to come and get him. I'm in the middle of a meeting. So I literally have to tell my coworkers, I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to go pick up my cat. I'm sorry. So he had the surgery. They his ear is, he's got some stitches in his ear and half his head is shaved.
Oh, he's a poor cat.
So his head looks a little lopsided. I didn't realize quite how hairy he is. So he has the cone on again because obviously now he has stitches and he can't touch it. And but while we were doing the surgery, I was like, well, while he's under, can you also clean his teeth? Because we've been well overdue to do that. Mm-hmm. So overdue, in fact, they had to pull another tooth.
Oh no.
He's got stitches in his ear. He's missing a tooth.
Poor Captain. He's having a
Yeah,
terrible quarantine.
He's having the worst quarantine.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, so he still has the cone on. We go back for a follow-up on Thursday. So hopefully he's healing well enough that like there'll be an end in sight and they can take the stitches out. And but yeah, he's not eating his dry food because I think the tooth probably still hurts a little bit.
Oh.
So like Fat Man's been getting just nothing but wet food. So I guess it's not that bad for him. Like, I mean, there's some perks to being an invalid, but yeah. So it was an eventful way to end last week.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, poor Captain. Yes. We had to go to the vet also, but it was not nearly as
traumatic.
Yeah, we had to, let's see, last week, towards the end of the week, Gabby was like coughing, like gagging, gag coughing, like she had a hairball or something.
Oh no.
And I thought it would just go away. And then like the next day it was still happening. It happened to her once before. But she never pukes. She's not she never coughs off hairballs. She never pukes.
Well, you're so lucky.
No. Well, Fiona does enough puking for 2 cats.
Okay.
Really.
So it all balances out.
And Fiona was our first cat, so I always assumed that all cats do that all the time. She always pukes in 2s. I don't know if your cats do that also, but like literally anytime Fiona pukes, you can guarantee that you're going to find a second one somewhere. So I was always sort of amazed that Gabby didn't puke at all, but she couldn't really eat anymore. She wasn't eating, and she loves her food. So it was very uncharacteristic. So we brought her to the vet, and it's like, maybe it was a hairball. Maybe something was stuck in there. Maybe since she's going outside now, she like killed some sort of small animal and got their bones stuck in her throat. I don't know. They were going to like potentially have to, I don't know, like sedate her and like, look down her throat.
Oh,
if things got worse,
like
but they didn't. They didn't have to do that. Like they
good.
gave her a shot. She came home. We watched her for a day or so. It got better. Now she's totally fine. Knock on wood. So that's so that's great. Whatever they did worked, and she's eating again. So it was we didn't end up having to do like any sort of procedure or anything. The same day we realized that Fiona was overdue for like one of her shots. So Frank went to the vet in the morning, took Gabby, came back, picked up Fiona, then took Fiona to the vet. Fiona also is very motion sick. Like she gets really car sick.
Oh no.
So she, had a huge puke on the way over and then also on the way back. Poor girl. But
poor you guys. I need to clean it up.
Poor frog kid. Because I was at work, I was like it was during working hours. So I was just upstairs like working. So he got to deal with all that fun stuff. But yeah. But it was the same as you were saying, Amanda. Like it was curbside, like drive up in the parking lot. A technician comes out, picks up the cat, then the vet calls you from inside, like you're outside, they're inside.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Well, and particularly now because it's like I still go to the vet that I started with Captain, like when I first got him. So it's in like another part of Brooklyn that I used to live in. It was literally 2 blocks from my old apartment. Right. So it was stuff like that where you're sort of leaving him and coming back. It was really easy because it was just like 6-minute walk down the block. And now it's like, it's such a production. Like I probably spent like $40 in lifts going back and forth. Cause it's like, I'm not gonna take the bus in a pandemic. Like, like, I mean, I don't take the bus with him anyway, because he doesn't do well on like public transit. Like he he gets kind of motion sickness. He gets kind of scared. Like I usually it's like I take a car with him and then I'll take public transit back or like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, so it's like the vet kept calling because I was in the middle of a meeting and I was like, I'm sorry, it's going to take me like 20 minutes to get there. Like I'm all the way on the other side of Brooklyn.
Yeah. And it's hard too, because I mean, I suppose you could change vets, but like same thing. I mean, for us, we've been going to the same vet. It's still like we haven't moved, so it's still very close to where we live. But we've been going to them for the last 8 years, and they're excellent. Like they called us today. So today's Tuesday. Gabby went in on Thursday. I think we also talked to them on Friday, and then they called today to check up and see how she's doing.
Yeah,
like, they're awesome.
Yeah,
yeah. No, they're really
good. Yeah, if you find a good vet, you don't want to change.
Yeah, and it's just like they have his history. Like it's it's like he's such a health risk. Like we've had so many sort of odd, weird health things happen to him that it's just like I'd rather keep him in a place he knows. Like.
Yeah.
For when these ridiculous, unexpected, stupid health emergencies happen.
Oh, poor Captain.
Yeah, it's great. It's like it wouldn't be a national crisis without Captain having some kind of personal crisis.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just how he does it. Like if he's gonna the last time he had a big health thing, we were like Daniel and I were on vacation with his family.
That's right.
In Hilton Head. So it's just like he times these things really, really well.
Just like any good child does.
Yeah. Exactly. It is what it is, and I love him still, and he's 100% worth it.
Oh, Cappy Cap.
Yeah.
Speaking of personal crises, not my own. In global pandemic, R.I.P. to the double rainbow guy.
Oh, I know.
I saw that. That's a real bummer.
It really was a bummer. I rewatched the video and there was this song that was, I'm sure there are multiple songs, but like the song that we used to listen to all the time, listen to both of those videos. It's just so much joy from that man. I really feel like he marked 2010-ish.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rainbow Dude.
Yeah.
I hope you found what's on the other side of the rainbow.
Aww. Okay.
Speaking of things from way back when, I finally watched the Parks and Rec special.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
It is really clever. Okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched it during my lunch break one day last week, and it was exactly what I needed. It was
What is it on?
Hulu.
Okay.
That's where I watched it. I think it broadcast on actual TV, but I watched on Hulu.
I'm excited for the Community one. We've been rewatching Community.
Oh, nice. I didn't know they were doing one.
They're doing one. Don't spoil me on the Parks and Rec one because I'm going to watch it.
That's all I'm going to say. It was. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. We've been watching. We watched the first season of Black AF on Netflix. It's really funny.
It's really good.
I haven't heard of it.
It's with Kenya Barris, who wrote like Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish, America's Next Top Model, and a whole bunch of other things. And it's kind of like his Curb Your Enthusiasm is kind of how is my assessment of it.
Nice.
Like he's going through life like as himself with his family. His wife is Rashida Jones. He's got 6 kids.
Oh, lucky man.
And it's just really funny. Like it's funny. It's
funny and it's smart. Like
it's funny. It's smart. It's very poignant. It's got good discussions. It's very poignant at parts, but it also like they're kind of like the Bluths in a way. Like, okay, they are like the daughter that's telling a story is her name Drea?
That's another thing that what. Going back to when we were talking about what day we recorded what, I watched that on the day that I was sick. So I just like powered through basically the whole thing in like a days, I guess.
Yeah.
So I really liked it, but I do not remember any of the characters' names.
Okay, so the daughter Drea, she's the premise is she wants to get into NYU film school, and she's making a documentary, and because her dad has a lot of disposable income, she's making it about her family, and he sets her up with like a film crew, and she's the Michael Bluth character in a way, and so and then it's all of the hijinks of her parents, her siblings, all the the crazy adventures and situations that they get into, and like Shandy said, like there's a lot of really good discussion, but she's the straight person that's pointing out stuff, and but there's always a lesson in each one, and I really liked it. I can't recommend it enough. I thought it was really fun. The scene with Rashida Jones in the ocean in the finale, Shandy, literally rolled on the floor laughing. That's all I'll say. That's not a spoiler, Amanda, because you will literally never remember that we said that by the time you get to the finale.
How many episodes are there?
8, I want to say.
Okay. It's doable.
Yeah, it was a day's worth of binging. That sounds about right.
I'll have to add it.
Yeah.
I have recently binged, not in one day, but since we last recorded, I watched Never Have I Ever, which was recommended. Kayla had said that it was cute.
Is that the Mindy
and it's on
Kaling?
Netflix.
Is that the Mindy Kaling series?
No.
Yes.
Siri? Did she do it? She's not in it.
She's like a writer. It's like her show. It's like she's like behind the scenes.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that is. Let me.
It's about like
it's Mindy Kaling. It is
teen girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's about yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes me like it even more. Yeah, it's really good. There's one season out, and I loved it.
Nice. I will have to check it out. I watched the first episode of We're Here, based off of Shandy, your recommendation.
Oh, nice!
And a couple other friends also mentioned it because they actually went to Gettysburg College, which is the first episode takes place in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so this is now like 3 people who I really prize their opinion. I gotta watch this show,
and
it did not disappoint. It was like absolutely what I needed after like a long and trying week.
Right?
I just needed to be reminded that like there is good in humanity and that like we can all find common ground and we can all learn to accept each other if we just like try and open our brains a little. And I just, oh my God, it was just everything I needed. It was so good. I can't wait to watch more.
Oh, it's good. The second episode takes place in, I think, Idaho Falls, but basically in like southern Idaho, which is very Mormon.
Okay.
So it's Idaho plus Mormon, but it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's really, really good. And the people that they find are great. And
and it's just like beautifully shot. Like it really is like if you took these like sort of feel good, affirmative reality TV shows and handed it over to HBO docs and like shoot it like a documentary. Like it's just, it has a different pacing and feel to it than like some of these other shows. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Nice. So, speaking of things we thoroughly enjoyed, I think we all watched Becoming this past week, right?
Sure did.
yes.
Okay, but before we move on to Becoming, going back to, just to bring it back to Maypril for a second.
I mean, did we ever leave Maypril?
No, we're never leaving Maypril. We're literally
never leaving
stuck
Maypril.
in Maypril.
This is where we live now.
Yeah, until it's J-April and then July-Pril or whatever we're calling it now. July-Pril. I like July-Pril. I could go with that.
It works.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever we're workshopping. There was a BuzzFeed article today, and I saw it on my phone, and it was like, the things that you totally forgot happened in 2020. You ready for this?
Oh my God.
I'm skipping around.
Much
Just
like 2020.
Yeah, just like 2020. Just
snowed
weeks
2 days ago, guys. It snowed.
I know, right? Oh yeah, that's right. You guys did have snow 2 days ago.
Freaking snowed. I get a little.
I know.
Anyway, what happened? Remind us of what happened.
All right. Well, just weeks ago, there were still 7 people running for president.
Wow.
Yeah, we forget that was like,
That was rough.
like March 1st, 2nd that everybody dropped out except for a couple of them. Yeah, no, that was a thing.
March 6th. Was that Super Tuesday?
March 3rd. I'm pretty sure it was
March 3rd.
Yeah. So a thing. To put it in perspective, it's only been 98 days since Pete Buttigieg won Iowa.
Wow.
Remember the Iowa caucuses were like a year away and everybody was like counting down to them and trying to do now it's been 98 days, but it feels like it was 3 years ago.
Right.
Trump was acquitted on both articles of impeachment in 2020.
Is there any good news on this thing?
Any news that makes sense?
Right.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. Although I don't know if this one makes sense, but it's not terrible. The first week of this year, Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" was the number one. It was number one on the Hot 100 charts.
Nice. It is a good song.
What a crazy year this is.
It's a crazy year. A year that literally started
an utterly silly year.
She was as the first chart of the 2020. She becomes the first artist in history to rule the chart in 4 separate decades: the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s.
Get it, girl,
queen.
And we should have known that this year was fucked when "All I Want for Christmas" hit number one for the first time ever at the end of 2019.
Yeah. Suppose so.
Man.
We should have known. The Oscars were 13 weeks ago. Tom Hanks had COVID-19.
Hey, how's he doing?
Good. They're using their
I would know
plasma.
him personally. Like, oh, he's good. The kids are fine. We just talked the other day.
They're using their plasma towards research for a vaccine, I think, or antibodies test or something.
That's great.
Yep.
Everybody lost their damn minds over a relationship that has been over for 1.5 decades, and that would be the Oscars picture of Brad and Jennifer Aniston. Remember that was like a big thing?
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember it, but I feel like I wasn't paying attention to that story, so
or
I
SAG
don't
Awards
really...
or something. Yeah, that was like the big story. It was like, oh my god, they talked and they hugged backstage at the SAG Awards. This is crazy. Little did we know, we didn't know what crazy was.
Right. Right. I was like, oh my god, they're getting back together. Wouldn't that be great? It's like, who cares?
Let's see. Oh, remember every company made a baby version of their spokes things. Remember Mr. Peanut dying and being reincarnated into Baby Peanut? That was 2020.
Nope.
You guys don't remember the Mr. Peanut thing?
No.
So because of Baby Yoda, everybody was like babyizing things, and Planters announced that they were killing Mr. Peanut, like he died, and like Baby Peanut was supposed to be like the big Super Bowl commercial thing. That was a thing that happened this
Why
year.
did Mr. Peanut have to die so that Baby Peanut could take his place?
Well, I think he was technically... I think technically now it was an early allegory for he was dying so they can reopen the economy for Baby Peanut.
Well done.
You're welcome. Also, that was like a month ago that those comments were made. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
J-Lo and Shakira sang together at the Super Bowl in 2020.
Oh right.
That was a lovely performance. It felt
Who
like
played in the Super Bowl? I don't remember.
I don't know. The Pussycat Dolls reunited in 2020. Jessica Simpson released her book. I remember when that was like a really big gossip thing when her book came out and she was spilling like all this tea. My sister read the book and said it was really good. Megxit happened this year.
Oh, that's right.
That was a big thing. Let's see. Scrolling past some of the stuff that doesn't matter. The NBA played games in 2020.
Did they?
They did.
I wasn't sure if they even actually played anything.
I think they were ready for they're getting ready for like playoff time when because March Madness
it
was
baseball.
Like college stuff.
Baseball hasn't played anything.
Baseball hasn't played, which sucks.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So that is those are some of the things that happened in 2020. Can anybody else think of anything? Our St. Patrick's Day show happened in 2020. That feels like a long time ago. It was only 8 weeks ago, if that, 7.
I was already in quarantine at that point.
You were. I remember that, and that was the last. I think that was the last night.
Well, you guys were sheltering in place. Yes, it was because you
I
started
didn't
working
know
from
for
home.
100% sure if the next day I was working from home or not. I remember that.
I think
Yeah.
that was actually technically the first day our quarantine started because our office was closed down like the Thursday, Friday before to clean with the thought that
Okay.
we would open back up on Monday.
And Monday was the 16th.
And then it was like a come into the office to get whatever shit you need
Yeah.
to not be here anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tuesday was my first day of like officially working from home.
Yeah.
Wow.
And mine was that Thursday, I think. So I was a day behind you, Shandy. So anyway, 2020 has been a long year.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the weeks do feel like they've gone by so quickly. It's like every time we get to Friday, it's like, wow, we're at Friday again.
Yes. We take the trash out every Thursday night, and it was like 8:00 last week before I remembered. I was like, oh my God, it's Thursday again. Like, when did this happen?
Yeah. It's like that whole, like, what the days are long, but the years are short. It's like, you know, it's like the weeks are short, but the quarantine is long.
Yeah. No, it's weird. Yeah, no, it's weird. And then we get to the weekend, and then it's like, what do you do on the weekend? And all of a sudden it's Monday again.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need like some extra days, but I also don't want to take vacation because
I've been having the same.
I can't go anywhere. And I know like part of me is like, it would be good for me probably to have some time where I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been contemplating taking this Friday off for that very reason. I'm just, I'm really burnt out. I'm really burnt out.
It's hard. But then I'm like, oh, but think of all the vacation days. Cause like, you know, I would have taken time for Raleigh. I would have taken time for a couple of other things. So like, that's vacation time that I could take like later for a long vacation.
Yeah. But see, it's like I just have so much vacation time that I get like, and I'm thankful. Right. I'm very thankful to have it. I'm very thankful. My company is very generous with the vacation time. I never use it all. And I always bank on carrying over 10 days, but that's the thing. You can only carry over 10 days. So like, I worry that I'm going to get to a point towards the end of the year where like, I'm just going to have all this time that I just don't have the time to take off and I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
If that was my situation, I would say, yeah, definitely take Friday off.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to start doing that. Like I'm not feeling as creative as I normally do. I'm not feeling as energetic as I normally do and just feeling grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On to happier things, if it's happy or not.
Becoming. Let's talk about Becoming.
Let's talk about Becoming. All right, ladies. What did you think?
I really liked it.
I loved it. So many tears. And it was weird because going into it, it was like, I read the book. Obviously, thank Colleen sent it to me. Thank you. That was the thing that happened in 2019. And I remember really liking the book. And so it was kind of like, okay, how is this going to be different?
Yeah.
But I sort of feel like, honestly, for people who haven't read the book, I think you could watch the documentary and be fine and then still read the book later and vice versa. I think it's, I think they're two different things. There are things that overlap that are maybe you have more background knowledge of if you read the book, but I don't think it stops you if you haven't.
I agree.
Well,
I think they're wonderful companion pieces for each other. And I think it was, I think it was a very interesting way to make a documentary that paired well with the book and sort of base it around the book tour. And I was talking to Daniel and I watched it together last night, but we were talking to his parents for Mother's Day the day before, and they said they watched it and they like were kind of unimpressed and they thought it jumped around and like they weren't really like sure what was going on. And
really,
and I sort of and Daniel kind of felt that same way too. He's like, "Gosh, this jumps around so much," and I was like, I personally love this style of documentary storytelling, the sort of non-linear like vignette. Almost. And I thought it was really clever.
I like that style too.
Yeah. They kind of used this book tour where essentially she's doing the same thing 36 times. Like she's going and she's being interviewed by someone that's asking basically different versions of the same questions. And then she's going to talk to like different community groups on this trip. And I love how they kind of used those things as sort of springboards to get you into a moment from the book and how they were kind of using those things to play off each other. And I loved it. I thought it was very clever. And I liked that sort of meandering way of telling a story.
I really like it too. Honestly, I loved her brother.
I know.
He's great.
He's so great.
And that was one thing where it's like you read about him in the book, and then to see him and to see how they interact, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. When they're arguing about the wine, and she's like, I have the better wine. And he's like, actually, I have the good wine. Then the mom like pipes in. She goes, oh, Craig has the better wine. He's like, yeah, Mish, you only have that White House wine.
That White House wine. Which, by the by, when we were in Sonoma, I bought a bottle of wine at a vineyard we went to because they serve it at the White House.
Was it good?
Dang.
I'm sure
We haven't opened it yet. I mean, we had it. We tasted it at the vineyard, and it was lovely. It was a Chardonnay, and I usually don't like Chardonnay.
Yeah,
but they had it at the Obama and the Bush's White House. So I was like, we gotta buy that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I really liked it. And I know we've got some feedback about this too, but there were some really like moments that stuck out with me. I think the biggest one would be when she talks about how on the campaign trail in 2008, she used to make remarks off the cuff, and Fox News used to take those remarks and then twist it around and use it against her, and just how much it affected her, where she, then started using a teleprompter and stopped speaking off the cuff as much because, the things that actions have consequences. And like, it's easy for, I guess, that network to dehumanize people, whether it's for race or, as now we're seeing, for a political party, like to just throw cavalier words around, but just the way that actually affects the human beings on the other side who are just trying to do the best that they can do. And just to see like how that real-time bullying, actually she still kind of carries the wounds of that with her, and that actually, given how Fox News has escalated even more over the last 12 years now. What year are we in? Is it 2020? 12 years? I don't know math. It's hard.
Maypril. 13th month of 2020.
12 years. Like, it was very sobering to reminder that there are people at the other end of the vitriol of that stuff. But I also really liked, but was sad and liked what she said, like towards the end, like, I have to have some kind of indicator that all of this is worth it, that we're moving this country forward. And
that hit me like a ton of bricks.
I know. One step forward, a million steps backwards.
Right in the feels that went.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, I think part of that too is like all of us sort of waking up on election day, like, oh yeah, like that is our white privilege that we didn't realize that of course we would take one step forward and 5,000 steps backwards. So yeah, definitely not the first time it's happened, but the first time that we're maybe more acutely aware of it. But I will say overall, even like the book too, one of the things that I found so just really interesting and compelling to read about was her own reflections on race and racism, and how, she and her family were affected by it growing up, and then also throughout the presidency. And, she makes some really honest remarks, which I feel like, I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but I don't feel like she talked like that during the presidency. It's like it's almost like they couldn't talk about race because they had to be like, this extra perfect family that didn't get into that kind of stuff. And of course it was there.
Though it's not, it's when all the police shootings were happening and they were a big thing, like conservative media dragged them through the coals for being divisive, for taking the side of thugs, for not siding with, the side of the law, for like, they were absolutely incredibly horrible to them over that. Like, and still to this day, I bet you if you asked anybody that was a regular conservative media consumer during the Obama administration, how did you feel about Obama handling police shootings? And maybe he didn't handle it perfectly, but I never once thought that he was handling it divisively. I think he was doing the best job that he could to try to address a very sensitive and incredibly important issue in America.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I'm not saying the contrary. I'm just saying like, I feel like it's not like either of them were in a position where they could sort of speak super freely and honestly about racism. And so that's why, like, in the book, you kind of see that more, because, you know, she and her husband are both incredibly smart. Like, obviously, these are things that they think about deeply. So it was really, really cool to actually then get that perspective from her directly.
Right. And I think it's like, because I think both of those things are kind of similar in the fact that in politics, so much of it is about the optics. And so in that position of power, it's like, yeah, you have this great seat to do good, but it comes with a price. And the price was that, like, they had to bite their tongue and not speak on a lot of these topics and not fire back when conservative media was, you know, targeting them and just being cruel and unfair. And so I think it's really nice that they now can talk about it. And I think this documentary did it in a very smart way, that it like didn't get down in the dirt. It just expressed and stated the fact that, like, with that privilege of being in the office, there were things we could not talk about. And now is the opportunity where I can truly be free to be myself and voice my own opinions. And let me be here as an example of, like, I couldn't say it in the time, but, like, that stuff hurts.
Right.
And I thought that was so important that it was included and said that way. Like, because yeah, it's like, yes, the politics of it. And yes, it is politics, but there are people at the heart of it. Right. And of course it's going to hurt.
We are definitely in an era where people sometimes don't remember that there are actual people at the heart of politics. And yeah, maybe a lot of politicians are corrupt and terrible and probably, you know, have lost a bit of their humanity. But there are people out there who are trying to do good, and they need to, you know, it would be nice if we could remember that if you know, Jack once made the argument in PO, gosh, back when Trump was first inaugurated. And I didn't quite get the comment then, and I remember, like, debating it a little bit with him. But essentially it was, if the way politics are continuing, you're going to end up with more people like Trump because more of the good people aren't going to want to put themselves out there. And I see that from both sides still. Like, I would hope that there would be more people like AOC who genuinely care about, like, making the country a better place, that put themselves out there. But, like, then I think of, like, okay, well, if I ever wanted to run for politics, all somebody has to do is pull up season 1 of this show and they would be like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you've got to have a skin that's a mile thick.
Yeah. And you have to be able to deflect things, and you have to have a charisma that can make, you know, can pass it off and be like, oh, it was just locker room talk. You know, it was just podcast locker room talk. But, like, you know, I'm a woman, so I probably wouldn't get that benefit of the doubt. But you know what I mean, though? Nope. So, like, it's I don't know. Just, again, like, back to the humanity. Like, if you want more people who, and I do think that that the one good thing of the Trump era is 2018 really brought about a lot of especially female politicians who really were progressive and cared about making a difference. And I think, you know, I hope that is a trend that continues. And I mean, you saw what they did to Katie Hill. And if she was a dude, I don't know if she would have had to resign as quickly as she did. You know,
totally.
Yeah, but I don't know. But back to Michelle. I thought the whole thing overall, like, I loved watching her interact with everybody that she at the book signings. I love that. I loved watching, you know, her talk to her staff and seeing, like, how emotional they got during. I love seeing how emotional they got at her success. Seeing that, you know, most of them have been around with her for a very long time, which I thought was awesome. Because that's always a good testament to somebody's like character when they have the same staff for years and years and years.
Yep.
I know, when they don't just like fire them every couple of months.
Just to hold acting ones, so they don't need to be appear before Congress, right? To be approved. Yeah. Anyway, no, I really liked it overall, and I thought that there was a lot that was unsaid within the documentary that was lingered enough that you could get that too, and I liked that it made me think.
Yeah. I also loved how much Gayle King was featured.
I was going to say
my second favorite woman behind Michelle Obama. Can't wait for the Gayle King documentary.
Gayle is everywhere. Seriously.
Gayle is the best. I love her interview style. She is my favorite part of morning news. Gayle and Friends, as we like to call it here.
Yeah. Gayle and Friends. That's awesome. Yeah, good times. Let's see. Yeah, we got Oprah and Gayle.
Yep. I mean,
I really did.
I liked that. What did you guys think about Obama not being a big part of it? I kind of liked it. It made it more about her.
Yeah,
loved it.
He had 8 years of kind of being the star. Like it was her film. Get on out of here.
Yeah. And again, like, sort of parallel to the book, like, at a certain point, they end up together because we all know they get married. But it's so interesting to see her as an individual. And I think we see that a lot in the book, especially in terms of her like pre-Obama life. But what was nice in the documentary too was like things that were happening. Like it's now, of course he's there, but she still gets to be an individual, even though she's married. And even though she's married to, probably like the most famous man in the world, she still gets to be an individual and do individual type things and projects. And I think that's a really good message also, for her daughters and for just everyone to see.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of her daughters, I thought it was interesting that they were included in the project. It was like there's a scene towards the end where it's, like Malia comes in and they're like having a conversation. And I just had this thought of like, I don't think I've ever heard her voice. Like I didn't know what she sounded like.
Yeah.
And I think, they were wonderful parents in the fact that they let those girls have childhoods. And you can tell that now that they are grown women, it was like they had the choice and the agency of whether or not they wanted to be in the documentary. And I
absolutely
thought that was really cool.
Oh my God, how much you love the story that the morning of the inauguration, the friends wanted to have a sleepover because they wanted to have breakfast at the White House one more time. And she was like, get up, the Trumps are coming. You guys got to go. Like, we got to move out today. It's moving day.
So ominous.
On the story about like how everyone was crying. And she's like, I had to stop crying because they're going to be thinking I'm crying for another reason.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where it's like, she says just enough for us all to understand, but she didn't need to develop that line of thought any further.
Yeah, but class.
Very well done.
Yeah. But honestly, my favorite parts though were with her mother and her brother. Like when she's like, and my mom is at the White House, and all she's like is, "Where's Craig? Where's Craig?" And I'm like, "Mom, you're at the White House. I'm the first lady." And she's like, "Yeah, but where's your brother?" Like, I love
that. Yeah. Oh man, how dashing was her dad? That because he figures prominently in the book, and so to see his photos and everything,
those big like 70s glasses or 60s glasses, those big plastic frames, like man.
Yeah.
Well, and her mom was gorgeous too. I mean, of course, Michelle Obama is beautiful, so of course, like her family is going to be good looking too. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. All right, we've got some feedback though, so let's get into that. Dennis said that it was powerful, which I love.
Clever.
Jessica plans on reading her book, as does Gail. And then we've got an email from Jamie Jo. Does anybody want to take this one?
I can take it.
All right. That's what she said.
Always.
With consent. She just said it.
With consent. I gave my consent willingly. Okay. So, Jamie Jo says, just finished Becoming. I basically cried through the first 5 minutes, winky face emoji. But really, the Obamas really remain some of the most impressive humans. And Michelle is an icon. We agree. She's such a gift to us all, whether we can acknowledge it or not. Our country had it so good. I hope we can be so lucky again. I know she'd make an amazing VP and honestly, an amazing president, but her and her family have earned their peace. Heart emoji. Anyway, that's my take. Stay well, Jamie Jo.
Agreed. That was the second time that I had cried. No, wait. I cried watching the, I forgot what I cried. All right, forget it. Take it out. I don't remember.
I don't know. I cry once a day, so it's
Oh, no. I'm thinking of when I cried watching the Some Good News recreate the Office wedding scene for those people.
Oh, that was great.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen that episode yet. I'm going to do it as soon as we're done recording.
You need to, but honestly,
I'm actually going to pull up YouTube right now so I don't forget to do that. Okay.
I fucking bawled my eyes out, dude. I cried. It's a really good episode of Some Good News.
Oh, it's so good.
I know.
John Krasinski is a treasure.
He really is.
I know. All right. Anyway, thank you, Jamie. They really are impressive human beings. Like we forget that, it was historic when when Barack Obama was elected. And, I remember, and she says, like, everybody in this documentary, they're like, everybody remembers where they were when he was, and I remember I was doing a live Metrobus and we were taking a shot for every state that he won or whatever it was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, it was like a 3-hour episode where we were taking a lot of shots. So that was the thing.
Hey, that's more exciting. I was sitting on my couch by myself.
Oh. I was grading papers and I had promised my class, like I was over the deadline that I had promised I would return their papers by. And I had class the next day. So I was like, I absolutely need to finish grading these papers so I can turn them back the next day. And I was kind of following like on my computer as the results were coming in. And when it started like looking really good, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm not going to be at home grading papers on the night that we elect our first African-American president. Like, the students will wait. And wait they did. And I went straight downtown, met up with my friends at the bar. And it was just so much celebration. My sister-in-law called me from France. We're partying all night. It was just so good.
Nice.
See, I had a more felt the gravity of, or I felt, it was historic that night, but it didn't really hit me until the day that he was inaugurated. And the gravity of the moment, really, that was when it kind of overcame me, where I was like, wow, this is cool and happening. And a big deal.
It was such, in super liberal Missoula, Montana, it was such a celebration. And in the bars, it was late. It was super late because that's Mountain Standard Time. But the TVs were on and that, in those bars, we listened to the concession speeches and the acceptance. Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah. All right. We've got, thank you, Jamie. Okay. We have another email from Got, and I think Shandy's going to have to read this one.
Okay. So Got writes into the ladies of the broadcast. I really wanted to write something great and profound for this evening's recording, but life has turned crazy and work has become very hectic. I just don't have it in me. So I will leave just a couple of quick thoughts on the documentary, but do not expect greatness or profound thoughts.
And then he proceeds to literally write for an entire page.
Right. Yeah.
Shandy asked me to watch it. Truth. I said I would, as I have always liked and respected the First Lady. Michelle Obama always struck me as a good mom and a grounded person. Although I do not align with her politically, I have always thought that folks who attack a First Lady lack class themselves. Criticize the president, go for it. Always fair game. But going after the spouse or the children has always felt icky to me, and I have personally tried to never engage in it. I silently look down upon those who do. The show was great. It confirmed what I always liked about her: class, grace, and just plain strong under pressure. I loved how she interacted with her team. I was struck by how genuinely hurt she was about what happened on the campaign trail when she was trying to be authentic. Real sadness in her voice when she said she read off a teleprompter from that point forward. I remember the fist bump and the proud of my country thing. I thought at the time, and still do, that the attacks were nuts and in bad form. When President Obama was elected, it was a historic moment. For the first time, an African-American family could look at their children and say, someday you could be president, and mean it. It was a dream come true for a portion of our citizenship that have faced horrible oppression historically. So when I saw those folks lined up to get a signed book become so overcome with emotion that some couldn't even speak, well, it warmed my heart.
So great.
The First Lady was every bit as important to that symbolism as was her husband. The First Lady and I grew up about 35 miles from each other. She's 4 years older than I am. The Chicago connection is there, but we grew up in different worlds. In the 60s and 70s, Chicago was one of the most segregated cities in the country. It remains so today. When she spoke of white flight, I could hear my grandparents and great uncles and great aunts in my mind. The racism and white flight was real, but the First Lady called it right when she said they didn't even understand what they were running from. When I was born, my family lived on the south side, just over 5 miles from where the First Lady grew up. I don't really remember it because my family was one of many which fled to the suburbs. A case study in white privilege and certainly something to think about. I enjoyed the documentary more than I thought I would. I think I may just read the book. Thanks to Shandy for suggesting that I watch it. God.
Aww.
And here, I had no idea that he grew up so close to where Michelle Obama did.
That was a great email. Thank you.
That was a great email.
Shandy. Shit.
Yes?
I forgot what I was going to say. I had to adjust in my chair, so I muted myself, and then I forgot. I think that it's really great that I think that's really great that you watch this documentary, God, especially because you don't align with her politics, and sometimes we don't always want to give a little, take a little for the other side or whatever. And I do appreciate you watching this woman's story and really, it sounds like you really actually took something from it. And maybe this should be a lesson to all of us that we should reach out and try to understand one another because we might learn a point of view that we didn't know before.
Definitely. And so when I started watching it, I messaged you guys. And then when I finished it, I immediately messaged Scott because I remember him saying at some point in time that he always respected Michelle Obama. So I was like, okay, this could be up his alley. And it's just so powerful.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. And I think, no matter who you are, no matter what your politics are, I think that what we could hopefully maybe all agree on is that one of the things that's great about Barack and Michelle Obama is that I think that there is a very genuine and honest desire to better society, to work for your country, to make it a better place. And I think that that's honestly something that many people have forgotten. We were talking about twisted politicians. I think there are so many admirable civil servants out there, but there are some politicians who don't understand service. And I just really think that they do. So whether or not you agree with how, what they put into place with their service, I think that's genuine. And that's the most important starting point.
Yeah. Well put.
Thank you. And honestly, everybody out there, I definitely recommend Becoming. I still think I still think I might have liked RBG a little bit more. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know. I liked it. I liked it a lot. So if you liked RBG, check out Becoming because I think that, similar audiences. And if you're not in that audience, check it out anyway because you might learn something like God did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's take a quick commercial break and when we come back, we will finish up the feedback and get out of here. Here we go. All right, so we are back, and it is time to do a little bit of feedback. We'll start off with the feedback from the Facebook group, and that would be from the first one is from Randy. Regards to our El Cinco de Zumo episode, I bailed when it looked like I might have to do some That's What She Says audience participation. Come on. Hey, we're fun. We're not scary. You should play next time. And then Scott Eric said, sorry I couldn't make it to defend my crown.
I know, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Where were you?
Yeah, we're
out and about. We all know that's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
Hot plans.
And then moving on to the That's What She Says.
We're so glad to have everybody here.
Oh my God. It's not until 9. I better stop.
I hadn't explored the other end of it.
Today would be the perfect time to do one of them.
And then it dried. And it looked bad.
Uh-oh.
That's true. It does look pretty gross when it dries. It was really disgusting.
It doesn't look great.
It doesn't look great. Like, not at all.
It's sad.
We like toothpaste gone bad.
It's a very interesting image that you've now inserted into my head.
Clearly, I have a very specific image that I'm drawing from.
Seems so.
And this is why I can never be in politics. Yeah, okay. Am I next?
You are next.
Oh, fantastic. If you want to have partners, we can do that too.
I need to go get mine.
Why is this so much shorter? It should be longer.
That's what she said. We had no idea that for 10 minutes you weren't watching anymore. We just kept going.
Sign of a good time.
Just put a little splash in.
It definitely came up randomly.
I have more. I have 14. Nipples?
We did not touch it.
I also hate panties. True statement.
JP is definitely in it. Okay, that's a pretty good one.
I think you would be excellent at this. But if you want to watch around first.
There's a lot of audience participation.
2 of those 3 would be wonderful.
Oh, that was a good batch.
That was a good batch.
It was.
Yeah, it was like the cream of the crop right there.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. The cream of the toothpaste.
The cream of the toothpaste. Hey, that was the thing I said in 2020 that I felt like I said a year ago. Happy Maypril, happy Maypril. It is always going to be Maypril until it's Japril
Never,
and then
ever ending.
Never, ever ending Maypril. A boop, boop, boo. A boop, boop, boo. A boop, 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 boo. I've clearly lost my mind up in here.
Maypril will do that to you.
Maypril. Maples.
Yep.
Yes. Maypril.
In like a lunatic, out like a crazy person.
I'm in a Maypril state of mind.
Exactly.
Episode title.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so our next bit of feedback, we got a voicemail and some DVD homework assignments from Dennis about Inez Milholland, who was a big figure in the early 20th century suffragette movement. She also advocated for gender equality, pacifism. I can't say that word. We're just going to go with it. Racial justice, unions, and free speech. Essentially, she sounds like she was 1916's AOC. So we we are going to talk about this next week because we are kind of running long right now. But we are committed to doing that. So if anybody wants to read about Inez Milholland, please feel free to do so and send us an email. At some point, we're also going to watch the Mrs. America thing. Shandy? No, Amanda. Amanda said she started it, but it's a lot. So,
it's a lot. It's very good. But it's because there's a lot of characters. It's historical events. So it's not a binger. It's like a simmer and enjoy it kind of thing, I think.
Is okay on a scale of 1 to Handmaid's Tale. Wow.
Oh, it's not nearly as far as that. You could probably do like 2 episodes back to back, and then I think you maybe need to take a break. Or maybe that's just me. I have a very short attention span.
Okay. But we are all going to attempt to watch that documentary, that TV show. Sorry, not documentary. That TV show before our first birthday. I don't want to talk about it on the first birthday party, but maybe we can watch it within the next month. Our 4th birthday party is Tuesday, June 16th. We make no guarantees, but I don't know. And that's also Maggie's birthday, so it's not actually. Oh. Yeah. So the way the birthdays go is the 13th is Zachary's, the 14th is Jana's, the 15th I think is Mike and a whole bunch of other people, and then Maggie is the 16th. I'm so sorry. I'm such an asshole. I'm like...
and some other people that
I know I got a whole bunch of birthdays.
Varying levels of important.
Yeah. Also, not for nothing, but I like to point this out every year. Jana and Donald Trump share the same birthday.
Oh man!
Oh, poor Jana.
It's also coincidentally Flag Day or Earth Day or something.
It's like the universe's sense of irony.
Seriously, though.
So all sorts of funny things, right? That's irony, right? That's like, it's like Flag Day on the Nazi president's birthday. It's and Jenna's birthday, who is very patriotic.
and Jenna.
Oh, we love you, Jenna, so much. You're like the best person in the whole wide world. I love that I have a whole. So yeah. Anyway, as legend goes, it's Zach's birthday, Jana's birthday, Mike's birthday, Maggie's birthday, and I feel like I'm missing somebody who's also have a birthday on one of those same days, and I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. I'm such an asshole, and I'm sorry.
Birthdays are hard to remember. I can barely remember my own.
No, they're not. Birthdays are not hard to me.
Birthdays are so hard. I had to find a partner that had the same birthday as me so that I wouldn't have to worry about forgetting it.
Well, you just looked it on Facebook to be like, who am I forgetting? If I had my notebook, I could remember it because I have it written down. Oh, here we go. June. Okay. Martha. Martha's June 12th.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Our good friend Martha of the Real Weird Sisters fame. Oh, that's right. My brother-in-law Tyler's the 15th. I know that's also Mike's birthday. Then Maggie is the 16th, as we've talked about. Is there anybody on the 17th? Let's see. Is there anybody on the 17th? No, I don't think anybody's on the 17th. And then my aunt is on the 18th. Somebody needs to have a baby, and or somebody that his birthday is on June 17th needs to be our listener so we can complete the cycle. But anyway, all right. So good times.
A lot of June birthdays.
It's a lot of June birthdays. A lot of June birthdays. So anyway, yeah, we're going to celebrate our 4th birthday and Maggie's something birthday, 29th birthday again and again and again on Tuesday, June 16th. So please put that on your calendar. Hopefully we can do some kind of Zoom thing for that. That would be really fun, I think. Mm-hmm. I really liked watching people's reactions to things versus like reading it in the chat. Like I thought that was really fun. But if please don't hesitate to let us know, like send us an email if you thought the Zoom format last time was not as good as the chat format. The broadcasters3@gmail.com or give us an email. Give us a phone call at 331-276-2373. Yeah. So does anybody have anything other than that? Amazon link, janejack.com/Amazon, all lowercase letters. Thank you for being a patron. If you'd like to become a patron during these crazy times, you can go to patreon.com/janejack or go to janejack.com and click on the Become a Patron link at the top right-hand corner of the page. Thanks to everybody out there for listening. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for shopping through the Amazon affiliates link. Thank you guys just for being you in general. We hope that you are all doing well during Maypril and beyond and prior. Please, reach out, give us an email or a phone call. Let us know what you're up to. We are nearing the end of our season where it's anything goes silly time. So we would love to get your feedback and hear what you have to say. So hit us up whenever. Does anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Thank you guys. So thank you to Eckhart Rickner, Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, Greg the Gray. I'm out of order. I'm so confused. Greg the Gray and Ed the Creepy Mailman. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I hope that we see you on June 16th. On that note, my name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a great week.
See ya.
Bye.